What's up, everybody? Welcome into the show. Good to have you guys in, even though there's none of you who have joined yet, but I'm sure a few of y'all will hop in here in a second. I appreciate y'all joining me today. We're going to be talking about start-sit decisions for week one. So, the game tonight, the game's upcoming this Sunday. We're going to be talking about all of it here. I'm going to be answering all your start-sit questions. Easy way to jump to the front of the line is to super chat. Fix my camera here. Ask me your fantasy football week one questions. We got the game coming up, baby. Couldn't be any more excited. I know you guys are as well. So let's get it. Just waiting for people to join. Yeah, I did start my live stream 30 minutes earlier than I initially thought I was going to. So, yeah, that might be the reason why there's not a whole lot of people in here yet. But, yeah, I just couldn't contain my excitement. I wanted to get started. Answering all week one questions, especially about tonight's game. Answering all week one questions. Come at me with the week one questions and we'll get it fired up. I'm excited about kickoff. I know you guys are as well. So let's get it. All fantasy football questions for week one. Yeah, I'm a little bit new to this live streaming, so y'all help me out with some questions, some super chats. They'll all be much appreciated. Who do y'all think's winning tonight's game? The score? I'm gonna say Chiefs. I got the Chiefs winning this game for sure. I'm gonna say Chiefs. Nah, it's first game of the season, probably a little bit lower scoring. 27 to it's gonna be a close game. Chiefs 27-24. That's my prediction for the game. I don't know about you guys. But I'm more interested in your fantasy questions than the score of the game, for sure. We got to make sure we're getting the right guys on the field. Who do y'all think is the most important fantasy asset in tonight's game? Who's going to have the biggest game, the best fantasy output? I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes. I think he's going to explode this year. I like him to go off in this game. And, yeah, come at me with the fantasy football questions. Start sit. Any start sit questions that y'all might have, bring them my way. I got you. Don't have a whole lot of people in here yet, but hopefully we get some people rolling in. What's y'all's prediction for tonight's game? Ask away. Any and all fantasy football questions, week 1 questions. Just waiting on the people to roll in. What's up? What's up? Welcome into the live stream, everybody. Let's get going with your questions. What questions do you have about week 1 fantasy football tonight? Starting tonight, the kickoff. I'm excited. What questions do we have? Start sit. Let's go. Any questions you might have? Answering all fantasy football questions. Super chats are preferred, but I'm answering all fantasy football questions. What's up, everybody? I see we got some people rolling in here. Good to see. Good to see. I'm here to give you my input on tonight's game. Whatever questions you might have, it's a live Q&A, so ask away. You can ask me as many questions as you want to ask within reason, and I will give you a detailed answer. All right, we got some more people rolling in. 4 people have joined. Ask away. Whatever fantasy football questions you might have. What are your thoughts on Hollywood Brown this year? Well, I think he's going to be better than people expect. You know, the minute he got hurt, everybody kind of started to write him off. I don't like this. I think that he's going to function really well in this offense, to be honest with you. And he's not going to be out for that long. So I think that the minute he comes back, we're going to see not necessarily an explosion, but at least a high weekly ceiling in the offense. It's one of those offenses that's so stacked that it's kind of hard to determine who's going to be the guy in what week. Right now, it's a little bit easier. It's either going to be Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, or Xavier Worthy. The minute Hollywood comes back, the wide receiver room becomes very crowded. So As far as a weekly floor, I don't necessarily like him, but I think he has a tremendously high weekly ceiling, and I think he scores a lot more fantasy points this year than people are giving him credit for sure. I love Zay Flowers tonight. I think he's a great bring back for this game. Somebody was actually asking him about him yesterday. I love him for this game because I don't know. I think that despite this being a Thursday night game, despite it being the first game of the season, typically the first game of the season is usually lower scoring, the first Sunday as well as, typically lower scoring games. But I think this will be a higher scoring game despite both teams having good defenses. I think that the offenses are so good that they're going to kind of trump the defenses. I think that Zay Flowers is a great bring back for this game because I think it's going to be very high scoring. So, yeah, I like Zay Flowers. I think he's a smash play tonight, to be honest with you. In fact, there's no way you can have him on your bench. I think he's having a big game tonight. And as far as the entirety of the season, I like him. I personally think that from a talent standpoint, he's like more of like a low-end wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2. So, I don't think that he's as good as people give him credit for. But with that being said, he is the wide receiver 1 in what's projected to be a very good offense. But at the same time, I think the Ravens' offense is being a little bit overhyped. And I don't think their offense is going to be as good as people think. So from a season-long standpoint, I'm okay on Zay Flowers. I think he'll give you steady floor production, but I just don't know about the ceiling. I think his ceiling's a little bit capped, to be honest with you. Having trouble between. Ooh, that's tough. I'm definitely going to go with Ray Davis, though, bro. I just think he has a lot of upside and what's a very good offense. I mean, when in doubt with these players, just choose which player's in the better offense. It's pretty simple. Ray Davis over Tyrone Tracy for sure. The Giants are going to suck, so I don't know. I don't want to have a whole lot of assets. I don't want to have a whole lot invested in the Giants, is what I'm saying. Mahomes is the obvious captain of DFS tonight, or who you like. I like Mahomes. I like Derrick Henry, honestly. I mean, I think that Derrick Henry might get in the end zone a couple of times. So outside of Mahomes, I really like Derrick Henry as far as the DFS perspective. McConkey or Judy at the flex? McConkey, easily. I don't trust Jerry Judy whatsoever. Yeah, I don't trust Jerry Judy, bro. Adonai Mitchell or Pogue? 80 Mitchell all day. All day. Easy. I don't know. I just like the offense better. I don't trust New England whatsoever. I think they're going to be a bottom 5 offense, if not a bottom 3 offense in the NFL. So I just really, I don't know. I want to play I want to play, the player that's in a better offense for sure. So I'm going with Adonai Mitchell. Let's see. Who else do I like for DFS tonight? I like Zay Flowers for DFS tonight. I would say that my 4 favorite DFS targets for tonight are Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, Derrick Henry, and Zay Flowers. Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Xavier Worthy, and Zay Flowers. PPR at flex. I'm assuming you're just talking about week 1. I don't know. I think that Jerome Ford has a better game against Dallas than people think. I think this Browns offense is going to exceed expectations. I'm actually going to go with Jerome Ford here. I know that the consensus is going to say Terry McLaurin, but I actually like Jerome Ford. I love Amari Cooper. I don't like Michael Pittman. I personally just think that he's a Dollar Tree wide receiver 1. I think from a talent perspective, a route running perspective, an athleticism perspective, he's just kind of a really low-end wide receiver 1, maybe high-end wide receiver 2 from a talent standpoint. I think the offense is also being a little bit overhyped. I don't necessarily think that the Colts offense is going to be as good as everybody thinks they are. Everyone's just assuming that the Colts offense is going to be good because they're led by Anthony Richardson. They have Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, blah, blah, blah. I don't really think that this offense is going to be as good as people expect. I think that Michael Pittman Jr. is going to disappoint, but I love Amari Cooper because I think the Browns offense is going to be better than expected, and I love the Deshaun Watson Amari Cooper stack. Drafted a ton of them in best ball. I mean, if you look at last season, before Deshaun Watson went down with his injury, Amari Cooper and him were really starting to gel. I really liked the connection that they had. And then everyone's like, oh, Deshaun Watson's a bust. Deshaun Watson got hurt at like the beginning of the season, and it was Joe Flacco's season for pretty much the rest of the year. So I just don't like that narrative that Deshaun Watson is washed up. I don't believe that. So I love Amari Cooper. I do not like Michael Pittman. Would you trade away Polk and Wright for Corum and Tyrone Tracy? Me being a Kyron Williams owner, that's a tough choice. Would you trade away Polk and Wright for Corum and Tyrone Tracy? Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, I think having the cuff to Kyron Williams is pretty important considering the fact that, he's going to be returning kicks now, everything like that. I still think that Kyron Williams is going to have a good season, but I don't know, man. I think having the cuff is pretty important here. So, yes, I would trade away Polk and Wright for Corum and Tyrone Tracy. I'm not too worried about giving up Polk either. I think that's not – yeah. What time do I stream on Sundays? I'm going to be streaming at 10:30 a.m. on Sundays, and I'm going to be going from 10 to like 11:45. So, yep. It's going to be fun. This is really going to be my first year like live streaming. In fact, this is only the second live stream I've ever done. So, yeah. We got some more people rolling in. I like that. I don't know. What do y'all think about DFS tonight? Who's going off? Who's going off in tonight's game? Man, that trade sucks, though, because I really do hate getting rid of Jalen Wright. I just think that the Corum value when you're a Kyron owner is just – it's exponentially higher. That trade is just – it's a winning trade for you. I don't like giving up Wright, but it's a winning trade for you having Kyron Williams. What other questions we got? Ask away. As many questions as you want. Jonathan, how many DFS teams do you have for this week? Prime time. Kenneth Walker finishing. Yeah, I totally think that's possible. You really think CJ Stroud's going to be the quarterback one? I don't know, man. No rushing upside. But that being said, like Vegas has him as an MVP candidate for a reason. I mean, he probably has the most loaded wide receiver room in the entire NFL. So I can see it happening. I think in today's NFL, though, it's really hard to finish as a top quarterback without rushing upside. I'm still taking somebody like Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts ahead of him. And I take Pat Mahomes ahead of him, even though he doesn't have the same rushing upside as Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts. Pat Mahomes at least gives you some rushing upside. Like, he will score rushing touchdowns, right? Whereas CJ Stroud is probably not going to score any rushing touchdowns. He might get lucky and get in there, once or twice, but I don't know, man. It's hard picking a non-rushing upside quarterback to be the quarterback one in today's NFL. Totally possible, though. The wide receiver room is as good as it gets. So I think Tank Dell is a slept-on talent. I think Tank Dell is going to be one of the better wide receivers in the NFL one day. I mean, I kind of think he already is. And obviously Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs. Loaded wide receiver room. Yeah, y'all ask away. Whatever questions you may have, especially about tonight's game. I mainly want to focus on tonight's game, but any week one questions, I mean, they could be for Friday night, they could be for Sunday, I don't care. But, I mainly want to focus on tonight's game. Bench one, Evans, Debo, Olave, and Rice. Feel like I should play Rice, but I don't know who to play. Shaking my head, PPR. All right, so you got a bench one between Evans, Debo, Olave, and Rice. That's really tough, man. I mean, I think it's really close here between Olave and Rice because, you've got a receiver in Chris Olave who's going to be getting all the targets in his offense, and the target share is just guaranteed for him. But Rice is in a way better offense, and I still see Rice getting 10 or 11 targets a game until Hollywood Brown comes back. I know the Ravens defense is a little bit tough, but I'm not going to let that scare me away. I'm leaning playing Rice over Chris Olave because I think Rice gets in the end zone tonight. I think Rice and Xavier Worthy get in the end zone tonight. I'm leaning Rice over Olave. I feel like I have to play Mike Evans, and I absolutely have to play Debo. You cannot bench Debo Samuel. So I'm going to start Evans, Debo, and Rice and bench Chris Olave, mainly because the offense is just freaking terrible. All right, we got some more people rolling in. Hit me with your fantasy football questions. I know y'all are pumped for kickoff, so let's get this rolling. Oh, Mostert by a mile. Yeah, I mean, look, Mostert was the running back too last year for a reason. He's an electric running back with incredible speed and a great offense that, speed just functions really well in the Miami Dolphins offense. Any fast running back in the Dolphins backfield, I'm going to be a fan of. And he still hasn't technically lost his starting job. Everybody's drafting Devon Achane 6 rounds ahead of him when Mostert still is the starter. It just blows my mind. Mostert way over Javonte, bro. Not even close. I do like Javonte this year. I mean, I think Javonte is going to have a good season. I drafted a ton of them in best ball. I have so many shares of Javonte Williams in pre-draft best ball, especially. I literally think I own 23% Javonte Williams in pre-draft best ball. So I hope that Javonte does what I think he's going to do this year, and I think he's going to explode. I think he's going to exceed expectations, but there's no way in hell I'm playing him over Mostert. There's just no possible way. Chad, Tyreek, David Montgomery, or A.J. Brown, James Cook, full PPR. Tyreek and Monty. I mean, I just can't. I can't trade Tyreek Hill for anything. I mean, Obviously, Montgomery is somebody, too, who has some touchdown upside. I'm big on Jahmyr Gibbs this year, but David Montgomery could still be the goal line back. There's no way. I mean, I think James Cook is the worst player in this trade, so no, I'm not. I'm taking the Tyreek Hill side, if that's what you're asking about. Laporta, though, tight end and running back. Oh, yeah. It's such an explosive offense, bro. It doesn't matter. The Lions, they're projected to be a top 3 overall offense in the NFL. So with that being said, tight end, running back at the same team, you want that. You want some correlation with really good offenses. And you have that. That's actually an advantage, bro. So I like that. Ask away, everybody. Fantasy football questions. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for subscribing. Make sure to join us for our Sunday morning live streams. I'm going to be live streaming every Sunday morning and making sure that your lineup is correctly submitted before kickoff. We want to get our best team on the field. Ask away as many questions as you want, ladies and gentlemen. Flex Rice or McLaurin. Rice, easily. I think that Rice is going to have a pretty good game tonight. I'm going to come back on and probably live stream after the game is over. So if Rice doesn't have a big game, y'all can come in and tell me I'm an idiot. But I have a feeling that Rice is going to have a big game tonight. And I'm starting him with my flex over McLaurin easily. Yeah, I think he's going to get in the end zone, bro. I mean, it's obviously hard to predict touchdowns. Touchdowns are a very volatile thing to predict, but we know that he's going to get target share. With Hollywood Brown out, this guy's going to be seeing 11, 12 targets a game. Seriously, he could get 12 targets tonight, bro. And what could be the best offense in the NFL. I don't care if they're going against a tough defense. You've got Pat Mahomes out for blood after having a statistically bad season last year, even though they won the Super Bowl. Look for him to absolutely bounce back and explode this season. Pat Mahomes has been a top 5 fantasy quarterback in fantasy points per game every single year, except for last season where he was like 6 or 7, and that was a down season for him. And that's a down season for him, and he was still quietly one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and now he's going to bounce back, bro. I'm telling you, he's out for blood. Mahomes is going to go off this year. Rashee Rice is, yeah. Give us one of your bold predictions. Oh, I like that. I think Alvin Kamara finishes as a top 5 running back. That's going to be a bold prediction because Alvin Kamara is being drafted as like running back, 16, 17 off the top of my head in best ball drafts. And in most formats, he's being drafted as like running back 16, 17, which is just absolutely crazy. And he's obviously not in a good offense, but this dude's going to be getting so much raw target volume out of the backfield that on volume alone and target share alone and, getting literally 11, 12 targets a game out of the backfield, this dude's going to go off like he has every year in his career. Last year, he was a top 3 running back as far as fantasy points per game. Look for him to do something similar this year. Just ride the Jets defense on Monday with a tough matchup or – oh, definitely get the Bengals, bro. Don't play anybody against the 49ers right now. We don't really know what the 49ers are. Like, are they going to be as good as they were last year? We don't know. I think we could expect them – just because of natural regression to take a little bit of a step back because they were just so damn good last year on offense. But I still think they're going to be a good offense. I mean, they've got all their weapons healthy. Christian McCaffrey, Ayuk signed. This is going to be a good offense, bro. You can't play any defense against them. I mean, even if it's the Jets. Wide receivers keep failing him last year. Yeah. I figured that was in the bold category, Alvin Kamara being a top five running back in fantasy. But I don't see any reason to think why he wouldn't be. I mean, he's literally had 4 top 5 finishes in fantasy points per game in his career. And he's going to be getting probably more targets this year than he ever has out of the backfield. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. I mean, like, the only thing we obviously have to worry about with Travis Kelce is him just falling off the age cliff. Like, if he comes out this year and just looks flat out of the gate, it's probably going to concern me, but I don't think that's going to happen. He says he's going to play until the wheels fall off. That's what he's going to do. I mean, I expect him to have another good season. I mean, like, even if he's not as good as he was in his prime, which I'm not even necessarily saying that that's the case, even if he's not as good as he was in his prime, he's going to be good by default just by being in this offense and having tons of red zone targets. And what's an offense that's going to be one of the best offenses in the NFL, right? So, yeah, I like Kelsey to finish top 5 tight end for sure. But there's some other guys that are going to step up and give him a run for his money, right? I mean, you have Trey McBride, you have Sam Laporta, who finished ahead of him last year. Kyle Pitts is in the conversation. He could step up. I don't know, man. I do think he finishes top 5, but he's definitely going to have to show up because there's a lot of really good tight ends. We have a more tight end heavy league right now than we've had in a while as far as elite tight ends. I mean, when was the last time we had this many elite pass catching tight ends in fantasy? It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. Pick 3, full PPR, 10-man league in case of Chase is out. Well, it looks like Chase is going to be on the field, bro. I mean, he's been practicing and everything. There's really no reason why he shouldn't be playing. Pick 3, full PPR. Chase, Olave, Flowers, Jaden Reed, and Tank Dell. Definitely Chase. Definitely Zay Flowers and Tank Dell. Chase, Flowers, and Dell, 100%. Chase, Flowers, and Dell. I'll write that out for you just so you have it. Chase, Flowers, Dell. Okay, Laporta, Monty, or Kenneth Walker, and Kyle Pitts. Laporta and Montgomery, or Kenneth Walker and Kyle Pitts. I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker and Kyle Pitts because, I mean, I feel like Kenneth Walker is the best player in the trade. I don't think that Kyle Pitts matches what Sam Laporta does this season, and I know you like having correlation in your offense. That's what I recommend anyway, but there's one player on here who's by far and away the best player in the trade, and that's Kenneth Walker. So, yeah. I'm definitely taking the Walker Pitts. Walker Pitts. Ask away, ladies and gentlemen. Start Josh Allen or I hope that's a joke. I hope that's a joke. You're definitely starting Josh Allen. I mean, obviously, Goff is in an elite offense, and stacking is important in your regular redraft leagues to a degree, but you're definitely starting Josh Allen over Jared Goff. You never bench Josh Allen, bro. He's matchup proof. You know, Josh Allen has a rushing touchdown in like 16 out of his last 18 games. You realize how ridiculous that is? That means you know that you're getting efficiency because in any given week, if a quarterback gives you a rushing touchdown, you're almost guaranteed to have a good floor for the week and possibly a massive ceiling. Yeah. Yeah, you have to start Josh Allen, bro. It's good that you have Goff as a backup, though, you know, for bye weeks, possible injuries. I mean, if Josh Allen goes down, at least you know you have a viable option behind him, you know? I am in a lot of leagues, bro. So it depends, like, what you're talking about. I mean, like, I'm literally in, like, 13 different leagues, and then I have over 200 best ball teams. So in my big money league, in my biggest money league, I'm trying to think. My biggest money league, I have Debo and Marvin Harrison as my Devo and MHJ as my wide receivers. I have Josh Allen as my quarterback. And believe it or not, this is a standard league. So, like, usually my bigger money leagues are always going to be PPR, but I happen to be in a standard league this year that's literally my biggest money league. So I have Debo, Marvin Harrison Jr. I have Brees Hall and Josh Jacobs as my running backs. Yeah, it's a pretty solid squad. I mean, for a standard league especially, I think that Brees Hall, yeah, I agree. It's one of my favorite teams that I drafted. Appreciate you. Y'all let me know if super chats are turned on. I'm not 100% sure if they're turned on because this is only my second live stream. So if you could just check and let me know. My tight end in my big money league is David Njoku. Yeah. It's a good all-around team. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm so much better at drafting PPR teams than I am standard teams just because I play in so many more PPR leagues, but you know, it's a good team. Hey, can y'all let me know if you see an option to super chat? I'm not by any means pressuring you to send a super chat. You can if you want to, but on y'all's end, can you see if there's a super chat option available? I asked just because I'm new to live streaming, so I'm just not 100% sure if the option even pops up on y'all's end. I don't know. Nice. All right, thanks for letting me know. So Incognito, how many leagues are you in? I'm in way too many this year, honestly. But it's okay. More opportunities to win money. And being in 13 leagues, I should be able to win. You'd think, oh man, that's fine. At least you're in more than one. My first year playing fantasy, I was only in one league. I was only in one league my first year playing fantasy, and I did not do well. And this was back in what year did I start? I started playing fantasy in like 2013. So it's been a long time. I mean, I've been playing for over a decade now. But yeah, I did not do well my first season. I only had one team. After that, I was like, man, I got to draft more than one team. I don't like just that one team not doing well and then being totally screwed over. My lineup: quarterback Josh Allen, David Montgomery, Javonte, wide receiver Tyreek, Puka, Rashee Rice, tight end Laporta. Bro, that's a stacked team. I'm assuming this is PPR, right? Yeah, I mean, your running back is definitely your biggest deficiency on your team. With David Montgomery being Okay. I don't know, bro. Try to trade for somebody like Alvin Kamara and Kenneth Walker. That's what I'm recommending to everybody because these guys go in the middle rounds. And so right now you could buy low on them before the season starts. But the minute the season starts, Kenneth Walker and Alvin Kamara are going to absolutely go off. So I would trade for either Kenneth Walker or Alvin Kamara while you can. Package for Kamara. Tyreek, Puka, Rice. Honestly, bro, I would try to trade Rashee Rice and somebody off your bench for Alvin Kamara because right now, as far as draft value and where they went in the draft, Rashee Rice and Alvin Kamara went in a very similar range. So I would package together Rashee Rice and somebody that's not that good to go with them. Definitely don't give up that much more firepower because Rashee Rice and Alvin Kamara almost looked at as equal, but I think Alvin Kamara probably has a little bit higher value right now. So like throw in like Rashee Rice and then like somebody off your bench that isn't that good just to make it look a little bit sweeter, and then try to get Alvin Kamara. What's up, Andre? How you doing, bro? We are answering week 1 fantasy football questions. So, man, anything you got, super chats are appreciated, but I'm answering all questions. So, yes, sir, Incognito, you know I got you. Yeah, Incognito, let me know how that trade goes. Next time I'm live streaming, just come in, let me know. Let me know if you're able to get a deal done. Man, I don't know. If you watched a lot of my like pre-draft, videos in the offseason, I was telling people to avoid Rachaad White as much as possible. So I wish you would have avoided him in the draft. With that being said, there's going to be somebody who will take him. I mean, what I've discovered about trades is like you just have to keep trying because like some people, it depends on what kind of league you're in. Some people don't even check their app. Yeah, no, I agree. I like, dude, I've been drafting so much Bucky Irving in best ball, it's not even funny because I knew that this was a possibility and I knew that this could happen. So I don't know, man. If you're gonna trade Rachaad White, you have to do it now. Like literally, the minute that he plays this Sunday, if he has a bad game, he'll be unsellable. People are just riding last year's production. That's the only reason he went high in drafts is because he had a good season last year. I might have to package White and Neighbors. My other receivers are Puka, Lamb, and London. Well, you're absolutely stacked at wide receiver. How did you get Puka and Lamb? Because that means you drafted Lamb with one of your first overall picks, and then Puka slipped to you at like the back end of round 2. That's possible? I mean, that's amazing. And you got Drake London? Because Drake London notoriously goes in round 2. That's amazing, bro. Your wide receiver room is unbelievable. I might have to package White with Neighbors. Do it. Like if you do that, oh man, yeah, package White with Neighbors. Do that, bro. You have enough depth at wide receiver. You're good. People are grabbing running backs. It's kind of funny. Like every year is different. Like, last year everybody was grabbing wide receivers early. This year people are kind of trending back towards like grabbing running backs early in drafts. I mean, it just fluctuates. I mean, that's so hard because like when you look at the talent, like Malik Neighbors is just so freaking good, and he's the unquestionable one in his offense where Rice is in, a crowded wide receiver room when Hollywood Brown comes back. But you know that with Rashee Rice, you're getting a solid floor because he's going to be getting 10 or 11 targets a week, even when Marquise Brown comes back. So I don't know. Like he's there for, guaranteed production. So that's really close on Rice and Neighbors. I might have to think about that one. That is a very solid team. You even have good depth on your bench. Like you have a good team and good depth on your bench. Honestly, bro, I think you're good, but let me check. Here's the whole squad: Purdy, CD, Puka, White. You know what I would do, bro? I would try to sell Brock Purdy high right now. I think he's going to have a little bit of like a little bit of negative regression this year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just don't think that he's going to be as good this year as he was last year. He did look bad in camp and everything like that. I don't know, man. I think that Brock Purdy was one of those quarterbacks that's going to be a one-hit wonder. So I would try to package like Brock Purdy with somebody like JSN off your bench for an upgrade at quarterback. So somebody that's weak at wide receiver, go to their lineup, look at what they got. If they're weak at wide receiver, you offer them JSN because that's going to be appealing, and then you package them with Brock Purdy and try to siphon their quarterback out of their quarterback spot. Other than that, you're good. You're good everywhere except, I don't know. I like quarterbacks with rushing upside. So, Brock Purdy, even though being on a great team and what's projected to be a top NFL offense, I need a quarterback with rushing upside. Try to upgrade Brock Purdy into like Kyler Murray or something like that. And you could easily do that with Purdy and JSN. Somebody that like is weak at wide receivers would give up Kyler for Purdy and JSN. And you don't need JSN whatsoever. JSN is worthless on your team because you're so top heavy at wide receiver, bro. It just like you're set. You're set at wide receivers. So you need to upgrade your quarterback. You know how it is. Like by the end of the season, like your lineup looks nothing like it did on draft day. So like people underestimate the importance of depth. But you have so much wide receiver depth. I think you need to trade some of your depth for a better starting quarterback. I'm just not sold on Brock Purdy coming back and having another monster season. I just don't see it happening. I think he's a one-hit wonder. Kyler Murray, like target quarterbacks that went in like the mid to later rounds, but still have like rushing upside. Kyler Murray, even Jaden Daniels, dude. Honestly, bro, you could probably try to trade Brock Purdy straight up for Jaden Daniels, and a lot of people are going to say that's dumb, but it's not dumb. With Jaden Daniels, you have an incredible pocket passer. You don't have to give up anybody else off your bench. You could keep your depth. You've got an incredible pocket passer with rushing upside that has Terry McLaurin to throw the ball to. Dude, I think the Washington offense could blow up this year. I think they're going to exceed expectations. I personally, I hold on.
What time are you leaving for Kyle's?
I'm not sure. Yeah, Anthony Richardson is seen as having too much value, though. Yeah, Anthony Richardson just like people aren't going to give up Anthony Richardson very easily. You could get Jaden Daniels. You could get Jaden Daniels for a ham sandwich, bro. Purdy in London, that's way too much. Way too much. I mean, I love Jordan Love. I love Love, but I just don't I don't know. You can't give up Drake London, bro. There's no way. I wouldn't even trade Drake London by himself for Jordan Love. There's no way. I mean, you drafted Drake London in what, the second or third round? There's no way. What the hell? That's ridiculous. That guy is trying to fleece you. Yeah. Yeah, tell that dude hell no. To be honest with you, bro, I've been so busy drafting DFS teams that I haven't like made any prop bets. Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you off the top of my head, bro, because I don't know. I would have to go look. I could always look on Underdog like right now. and just see. Do you bet on underdog fantasy usually? Yeah, underdog and sleeper. Pat Mahomes greater than 267 passing yards. I think it's a good idea to like take unders early in the season, especially with star players like Patrick Mahomes. But I'm also not confident on the under hitting for 267. 267 is not that much. I think he could hit that. Rashee Rice touchdowns. I hate betting on touchdowns. They're just too volatile. Oh, I see one. I see one here I like. Travis Kelce higher than 28.5 first half receiving yards. Yeah, I like that one. So I would hit the higher on Kelce going off in the first half. I mean, 28.5 yards. This dude's probably going to have 100 receiving yards tonight. 28.5 in the first half. Smash the over there. How many teams did you draft, Andre? I drafted 226 best ball teams on Underdog. I kind of wanted to, I don't know. I wanted to draft more than that, but I don't know. Nice. That's a hell of a lot more than most people. You need a running back in this other league. You want to package Ramondre / DJ Moore. I don't mind getting rid of either of those players, but I mean, how high are you trying to shoot at running back? That's the question. Because, I mean, what do you think you can get for Ramondre and DJ Moore? I'm trying to think. Ramondre and DJ Moore, you need a better backup running back. But, like, is Ramondre not the third running back you drafted off the board? Like, Ramondre is your backup running back. So you'd be trading Ramondre Stevenson, a backup running back, DJ Moore, a starting wide receiver for a backup running back. Maybe I like Monte. Oh my gosh. Oh, for Josh Jacobs, dude, in a heartbeat. I would make the trade right now. I would trade Ramondre Stevenson and DJ Moore right now for Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is about to explode, bro. This dude is an elite running back running behind an improved offensive line, tons of passing weapons. I mean, he's going to be facing light boxes all season long because teams are going to be dropping back to account for the passing game, and he's going to see really, really light boxes. Josh Jacobs is going to explode, bro. I would do that trade in Ramondre and DJ Moore for Josh Jacobs in a heartbeat. Flex Kirk or Reed. I hate Christian Kirk, to be honest with you, bro. I think he's been overdrafted. I am going to start Jaden Reed, bro. Yeah, start Jaden Reed. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all coming in. I was planning on live streaming for about an hour. We've pretty much gotten pretty close to that. So I appreciate you coming in and asking your questions. Make sure to catch me. I'm going to be live streaming a lot this year. And I'm going to be live streaming every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. So tune into my live streams, and I'll help you as much as I possibly can. Appreciate you, Andre Incognito. Peace out, Andre. Have a good one.